So welcome everyone. We're talking about the Referral Partner Program. And I'm so glad that you guys could be here today. Some of you are providers in our network. Elizabeth, we just met today, so I'm excited to have you here as well. And we have a lot of information I want to share with you today. We are recording this for purposes with those who are unable to be here today. But I want to give you a little background before I jump into the program. We've had a referral partner program since pretty much day one. And that was, 5 years ago that we launched it. And it's been on our website. It was taken off our website. It's, been publicized. It's been quite kind of quiet. And it was actually a conversation with my sales coach just recently. When she was saying, Denise, you need a referral partner program. It's like, I have one. She says, how does anybody know about it if it's not on your website and you're not publishing it? So point taken, she was absolutely correct. So we have revamped it a little bit and absolutely launching it right now because this is a really critical time for us. We are actually launching our new employee benefit program officially next Tuesday, a week from today. And this is exciting. So it's a great time. You have something to talk about if you, whatever degree that you're going to be involved in our referral partner program. But I actually have some slides that we're going to go through today because I need to keep myself on task because I'm so incredibly excited about this whole thing that I'm going to inevitably deviate from where I need to be. So, and this recording will be available for anybody to refer back to if you need to. But let's kind of dive in here. So, the number one thing I get from those who are wanting to give referrals out for You Define Wellness is, what do I say? So I'm going to give you some words that you can say. And let's start with what is You Define Wellness, defining You Define Wellness. And I've tried to make this as simple as possible. When I'm talking to people and they're wanting to know what You Define Wellness is, I'd say we're something that you've not seen before. So it takes a little bit of explanation. But the bottom line is we only do two things. We do education and affordable access to services. Now, how we go about doing that can be a little complicated. So a easier way to describe this, and so I'm giving you some words, it's a unique employee benefit program for healthy living, combining education and subsidized access to services of choice. And that typically goes, well, is this like health insurance? No, in fact, we're not at insurance. Okay. I explained that typical workplace programs like medical insurance are for qualified medical expenses defined by the Internal Revenue Code. You don't need to go there. That's what it's for. It's for sickness, typically. While we also deal with sickness in our plan, most of the services in our network are not IRS qualified for medical expenses. It's whatever you deem as wellness care, and it's probably available through one of our vetted network providers. And what we do is we take the work out of traditional corporate wellness programs. I'm going to constantly be stopping here. And if you guys have questions, jump in with questions. I had a conversation, last week, I think it was, maybe a week before, with someone who does corporate wellness programs in her company. And one of her greatest frustrations that she said she has, and she's done this for years, is that she feels like she has to be a mind reader. She has to figure out what's going to motivate her employees. And she can't ask them because they're not, only the people who are going to participate are going to respond to it. So what she loved about You Define Wellness is that we take the work out of it for her. And this program is not designed to explain our employee benefit program. If you want to hear more about it, I invite you to come to the launch next week. It's on February 2nd, and we'll be doing a deep dive into it. I just want to give you a mile-high view of what it is that we're doing. And that we do have individual solutions as well. So it's not all corporate. A referral partner, you guys, you value the work that we're doing and helping make the change that is occurring out there. and you choose to recommend or introduce us to people you know. We will have 2 referral partner levels that I'm going to go over here. One is called friend, one is called ambassador. And everyone will begin at the friend level. You have the opportunity to bump up to the ambassador level, which has higher commissions, but it also requires more involvement on your part. You want to do nothing, you just want to be at the friend level, make recommendations to us. Hey, that's great. That's just found money for you guys. Hey, Terry, I didn't see you sneak in. Good to see you. And Kristen, good to see you come in too. So we do have some minimum requirements. Let me go over them. We're passionate about Untitled Wellness. We are looking for referral partners that are a good match for us. What do I mean? You're positive, you're upbeat, you have you're well-being oriented professionals, you operate with integrity, and you see the value that we bring to the table. I will tell you that all of you fit that criteria, or else you wouldn't be here today. We ask that you attend at least one event sponsored by Untitled Wellness prior to partnering with us, and that's so that you can understand who we are and what we do. Can somebody tell me, am I recording? Can you see it? Okay, thank you. I'm not seeing it on my side, and all of a sudden I went into panic mode, and I don't want to start this all over again. Okay, so here's why I'm asking that you attend at least one event and know who we are. So there is somebody who received the email, signed up for today, is unable to be here today, and sent me an email at 4 o'clock this morning. Guess what? I'm working at 4 o'clock this morning. So I do get them. And said that she couldn't be here, but proceeded to copy someone that she wants to introduce us to in the email, telling me she's unable to be here. She's not ever been to anything that we do. And that's great. But if you can imagine the amount of work that it's going to take on our part to even cultivate it into something. Yeah, she wants to introduce us. Great. I love it. But she can't explain to that person what it is we do. And she hasn't told me anything about who they are. So just giving me an email address and saying, we're connecting you to, we're going to go into what a good introduction is. That one needs a little bit more work. And so I've had to go back to her asking some questions about it. The basics. First of all, understand something. As a referral partner, I am not asking you to sell Untitled Wellness. We have members of our sales team who will be happy to do that. Michelle Jolly is our Wisconsin sales director. She is definitely one of them. She's on the sales side. We have Heather, who has joined our sales team. We're getting her to the point where she is, and Rita's been a part of our sales team as well. But we aren't asking you to sell Untitled Wellness. Let us do it. Hello, what happened to? The other thing is, you don't have to know all the answers. You just need to know where to go. And that is to us, to Michelle or to myself, as to, especially if you get lost. Okay. When a referral becomes a client of Untitled Wellness and money changes hands, you get paid a set percentage based on the dollar amount paid to us and the product that they have purchased. That's just a basic fundamental of what a referral partner program is. I do have to explain this because there have been people who came into our world for a variety of different reasons, and there was no money that changed hands, and somebody was expecting compensation. And the way that they came in, there just wasn't anything. So if we get paid, you get paid. And the big thing is, we're not insurance. Please don't ever describe us as being an insurance program. From your position, it's a harmless thing to do. So it helps put the perspective on to somebody else as to, oh, it's kind of like insurance. The problem is the divisions of insurance take issue if we're misrepresenting ourselves as an insurance product out there. Okay, so this is a big favor. Please do not ever say that we are insurance. So let's jump into referrals. What is a good referral? Anyone you feel compelled to introduce us to. Okay. 3 different types of clients. Client number 1 are independent health and wellness professionals. We have to constantly be building our network of providers. When an employer is looking at a benefit program, particularly if it goes through an insurance agent, the first question they ask is, how big is your network? If you say, oh, we don't have anyone in your area yet, they're gone. There's a different way for us to explain to them how we will custom build a network around their employees' needs. I did it for 10 years. I know it works. Prior to launching Unifying Wellness, I worked with, I was the national sales director for an optometrist-owned vision plan. We would go into a particular geographic area because maybe an eye doctor in the area happened to have a relationship with one of the largest employers in town, or even a small one, and they would contact us and say, hey, I want to really get this going here. And that was the only doctor that we had. We would go out and get every optometrist in town to be on our plan. It's a simple thing to do, and it's not something that should scare people away. Client number 2 are corporate decision makers. These could be insurance agents, human resource managers, business owners with 5 or more employees. It could be a payroll company. It could be an accounting firm. People who have influence over the decisions that are being placed in a corporation for the employees. It could be members of a wellness committee as well. Client number 3, there's no money that changes hands on this, so it's not something that's that we can compensate you for, but individuals who need help in a referral for care. I get these all the time. In fact, the first person on this call today was Elizabeth, and while she was coming on board, I was getting a request from someone saying, do you have anyone that is a functional medical doctor on your network? Yeah, I do. I know people. Whether they have an active profile or not, I've got someone who I can refer them to. So we let people know, if you need help finding someone, whether you're a client of ours or not, contact us. We can help you out. Let's stop right here. Any questions so far about the basics before we jump into specifics? Yay, it means I'm covering all of them. So how might you discover a referral? This is the part that scares people more often than not. And I'm trying to also manage some questions. So Shirley, you asked me, can we say it's an alternative healthcare clearinghouse? I've never heard of it said that way. I wouldn't have a problem with it, but I wouldn't know what that means. So if you know what it means and you can explain it, great. And I do see the private message there for me as well. I'll get back to you. Okay, so how might you discover a referral? So here's some ways. Let's say you hear someone, a client, a friend, an acquaintance say, I wish health coaching was covered by my health insurance. That's a perfect introduction. I have actually interrupted a conversation in the grocery store when I heard somebody say something like this and handed them my business card and said, I can help you with that. So that's a great way to be able to step in and say, hey, there's this company that I'm affiliated with, Unifying Wellness. It's not health insurance, but man, it could sure cover that health coaching. Can I introduce you to the people over at Unifying Wellness to learn more? And basically, you find out how interested they are when you ask that. You ask your clients who at their company makes employee benefit decisions and if they would be willing to get you their name and number. I'm going to tell stories here because I just love it when these things happen. So back in my optometrist days, I was training our optometrists we had thousands of eye doctors across the country, and I was training them. You have corporate decision makers sitting in your chair. Absolutely. Or they know the person. And if you don't want your patient on that vision plan that they came in on, and you'd rather them be on our vision plan, then find out who I can talk to. So I had this one eye doctor in Omaha, Nebraska. He has this long time client who came in, and she came in for her annual exam, and he says, "Hey, I know that you work at," I'm going to just say the name, Gallup. You guys ever heard of Gallup before? The polling company, you know, the Gallup polls. Okay. So at Gallup, they had a huge, huge office. I think it was the corporate office in Omaha, Nebraska. And he's meeting with his patient. And while he's doing her eye exam, he says, "Hey, I know you work at Gallup. You know, I really don't like that vision plan you're on. Let me explain to you the reasons why." And so he went through how that vision plan dictated how much he was going to get paid, the type of care that it could give, everything. He said, "I've got something else I'd really rather see you guys on. Who at your company makes the decisions as to what employee benefits are offered?" And she looked at him and laughed, and she says, "It's me." So you never know who you're talking to. You know, we have a provider in our network whose best friend is the wellness committee, the decision maker for wellness committee type things for a company that has 18,000 employees. Now, she has introduced us to the decision maker, and I have literally spent 4 years going back and forth with this corporate decision maker. We weren't ready for them. They weren't ready for us. We've been trying to figure out where we are. We are finally ready for them. So we're working that one again. Fingers crossed that it happens. So ask people, who at your company makes these decisions? Maybe you're connected with someone you know is an ideal client for us, as this one that I just mentioned. You see a post on social media and you jump in on the conversation and say, "Hey, I may have a solution for you. I want to introduce you to the folks over at Untitled Wellness," and tag me.
Get down.
Or tag Michelle or somebody else. Okay. Talk about us in your e-newsletter and social media. You visit a health and wellness expo and talk to the vendors or pick up business cards. Let me do a cautionary note here. If you go to, none of us are going to health fairs right now, but when they open back up again, if you go and you pick up everybody's business cards and you ship them to me, that's not a referral. Okay, so just letting you know, it's nice to have people's contact information, but that's not a referral. That is not an actual conversation that leads to something happening. You meet someone at a networking group and offer to introduce us. This is how I get a lot of referrals, is that you've gone to a networking event, you've met someone, and you put two and two together. We have someone who just joined our network the other day, and I met her at an online networking group that I was invited to. She's in California. We've been talking literally for months now, and on Saturday, she decided to join our network. Yay. So you never know how things will happen. So it's just how you're finding your potential clients is the same way you can find them for us. So what is not a referral? I have received all of these. Sending us a link to the Chamber of Commerce membership directory is not a referral. I had somebody who literally printed out every single page of the Chamber of Commerce directory and sent it to me, assuming that I would be elated with it. I can do that too, and it doesn't work. Okay, it's a lot of work, little payoff. Recommending who we should go talk to, such as in the eye care world, every single doctor I spoke to said, "You need to go get the federal government account." They didn't like their vision plan and they wanted us to replace it. Great. Unless you personally know the President of the United States who can influence the decision as to which vision plan is being used, it's not going to happen. The same thing here for us with wellness. No personal interaction with the referral. I get a lot of referrals saying, "Hey, you need to go talk to this person." I haven't actually talked to them, but I know about their business and they may be interested in it. That's a cold call. Okay. This one is tricky. Inviting us to a public networking event where someone we meet on our own later becomes a client. So, that's at the discretion of the person who's actually working the referral as to how that goes about. This person who joined our network over the weekend that I met at a networking event, it was a very private, exclusive, invitation only event. It was designed to really get your business promotion going. And it was very well structured. And you bet your sweet Bippy, I'm going to give the person who invited me to that, invitation only event, I'm going to give her a commission on it. And Michelle's going to get an override on it as the team leader for it because she was the one who introduced me to the person who invited me to the event. So there's all kinds of ways to have money flow around. So for clarification in the chat, a referral really is a direct connection and introduction that leads to a conversation. Yes, Natalie, absolutely. Michelle, if you would be so kind as to monitor the chat box for me and let me know if there's a question to answer. Oops, that is not what I wanted to do. Let me go back. Okay, so let's talk about the two different levels of referrals. Number one, you don't have to do anything in terms of signing anything. There is no commitment whatsoever. We will indicate in our database, actually, whether you're indicated or not, it doesn't make any difference. I'm going to indicate it though that we've had a conversation with you about the friend level. The friend level is just a referral. They come, here and there and everywhere else, and it's just an introduction. We're automatically going to do this. There's nothing you need to do. And sorry, it's a little blurry. I didn't realize that when I blew up this screen. But here you'll see the percentages of what we're going to pay when someone buys something. There are some other products that can be included in this. Anytime money changes hands, we look at what it is and what is the compensation that is available. The only requirement is that we have to have it in our database that you were the referral source. So as an example, let's say you send me an email and you're introducing me to someone. When I reply to it, I am blind copying our client record management system so that it's in their record with their email address and it's also in yours. So when that person later becomes a client of ours, we will be able to look and see that, oh, hey, it was referred to us by Heather or Elizabeth or Stephanie, okay? Then we will compensate you accordingly. If there is no note whatsoever, we assume we came to them by happenstance. So you just need to make sure that we know that person was referred by you. It is a little bit of an honor system. We haven't had anyone who has abused this to say, wait a second, that was mine, okay? I take it back, we did too. It was a situation where somebody had given us a name. It happened 5 years ago. About 3 years ago, the person finally joined our network. And when the first person heard about it, they said, wait a second, I was the one who originally referred you. Well, they had referred us by just sending us a name and an email address, but they hadn't actually done an introduction. Somebody else came along and said, hey, we all meet the same people, and actually had worked it. And so we had to go back and explain that to the person. I always try to do what is right and fair, always, always. We have about 5,000 names in our database right now, and most of them aren't even tied to anyone. So we want to, we will do whatever we can to do that. We also have a number of them that they've been referred by by 3 or 4 different people, and we record all of that in it. But we need to look at it and say which one moved the needle further. Okay, so we will always do what we can to be fair. So there's nothing you need to do for this. It's just automatically going to happen. But let me show you what the income can look like for you. And you're going to look at some of these numbers and go, woo, woo. That's okay. Remember, they are cumulative. So if you introduce us to someone who joins our provider network and they join at the full fee of $497, you'll get 8.75% or $43.49, roughly $44. If you want to have a custom discount code that you can hand out to people that would reduce that price by $100, all you have to do is ask me for it. Because that's a good selling point to be able to go to people and say, oh yeah, this Unifying Wellness is really cool. And by the way, I have a discount code you can use and it's, take $100 off. There's a lot that can go into this. If you have somebody you know that needs to join, they need a payment plan, things like that, you contact us and we're I just want to give you the mile high view, okay? The Healthy Living Savings Card that we send out, we have out there is a 10% commission, same thing, we can give you a discount code. We have a program that we just recently launched. I call it, the shorthand for it is Pathways for Individual. It's our individual well-being assessment with a 1-hour one-on-one coaching. Okay, it's a great product. We really were promoting it last weekend at an event we were at, and it has a very small commission. I want to show you what's really important. Okay, I lost part of my screen. There we go. It's our new product that's debuting next week. This one gives you residual income. Everything else is a one-time hit. Yeah, it's nice to get a check you're not expecting or electronic payment. But what if you could have residual income? And that's our employee benefit plan. The way this works is we charge $146 per employee enrolled in the plan per month, of which as a friend of Untitled Wellness, you get a commission of 1.88%. I will guarantee you that if you have an employer that comes to me, I'm going to be saying to you, let's get you on an ambassador memorandum of understanding. We're going to pay you twice that amount and guarantee you that's going to happen. Okay. But let's just assume it's just at this level, $2.75 per month. Now, are you getting really excited? That doesn't even buy anything at Starbucks, I don't think. Okay. But what if they had 100 employees? That's $275 you're making every single month for doing one introduction that resulted in that employer saying yes to Untitled Wellness. Times 12 months is $3,300 per year. That's not shabby for one introduction. Let's look at the ambassador level. So the ambassador level is a little bit more. It's more involvement. And I'm going to show you a comparison in a minute between the two of them. But it's not just doing an introduction. It's doing an introduction and helping move the needle a little bit further down the road. And all the commission amounts are double what they are at the friend level. There is a memorandum of understanding, and the memorandum of understanding is mainly because you're making a commitment to us, but we're also going to review that every 3 months to make sure that you're at the right place. We expect a little bit more from ambassadors. And you're all independent contractors, so it's limited what we can expect, but it's just we understand that you are wanting to proactively help promote Untitled Wellness. The compensation level, so provider recruiting, it's double, it's $87 roughly. The Healthy Living Savings Card is about $20. The Pathways for Individuals is roughly $10.50. The Wellness at Work at 3.75% instead of the 1.88, you're now looking at $548 per month or $6,500 per year. There's differences in actual doubling is because of rounding, okay? Let me show you how that works for residual income. I'm assuming you all know how residual income works, right? Okay. So, this month 1, you bring to us an employer who signs the paperwork. They have 20 employees that sign up on our plan. You're getting $110 for the first month. The second month, you still get that $110 as long as the employer has paid their invoice to us. But you now have a 5-person group that has said yes to us, and that's going to add another $28. So now you're making $138. Month 3, you still get the 110, you still get the 28, but now you have a 75-person group that said yes to us, and that's $411 we add to it. Now you're at $549. Month 4, You know, we now have, oh, wow, you had this 250 person group that came to us. That's now $1,369 per month. So you can see it adds up. In the packet that we have that I will share with you all how to get it, the numbers can get really stupid really fast. Now, let's talk about this group that I've told you that I've been working with now for a number of years that have, 18,000 employees. The referral source for that group, the provider in our network who has made the introduction to her best friend, who is the corporate decision maker, will be looking, if the group comes to the table, at a 7-figure income. You think that could maybe help pay for some things that you want in your lifestyle? It can add up, and it's just from helping move, push that needle forward and getting an employer to say yes to what it is that we're doing. Okay, I'm going to stop there because we're getting into some crazy numbers and conversation. What questions do we have? Michelle, thank you very much. Okay. So there's one thing I want to, in the chat, that I want to talk about. Shirley, thank you for saying that cannot find the tab to find the providers. I appreciate that. One thing that may help is if we change the drop down from add, find a provider on it, and that will take you to the same spot. I can tell you that in the 5 years of doing this, the bane of my existence has been our provider directory. From day one, it's a pain in the neck to maintain a provider directory. If any of you have the really brilliant idea of wanting to start a provider directory, I'm going to say, let's sit down and have a conversation, and I will share with you all the woes of doing it. It's a pain in the, okay, I'm not going to say the word. So how we present it is always difficult. We've moved to a new platform this summer. We've relabeled our provider directory at the Wellness Center because it's really an e-commerce store. It's where you can find everything. The Wellness Center is where you go for everything. If you want to search for a provider, it's really easy. There's a drop-down menu, search for provider, and and all of them are listed there, as well as the practice names. So it does take some getting used to, but I will tell you, it is a phenomenal, robust website. Is it perfect? No. The day that we're perfect is the day that I hang up my shoes, okay? It's just not happening. There will always be flaws. There will always be something that's not quite right. There will always be someone who says, yeah, you should do this different. Always. Why? Because I get it all the time. So we've worked with experts. We've got it laid out the way that we like it at this point in time. We're constantly making tweaks to it, but it's really robust. And when you get in there and you take a look at it, it's like, wow, this is pretty awesome. Okay, so let's talk about what's the difference. So the friend level is like an email introduction. And okay, this isn't doing what I asked it to do. That's okay. It could be sharing a social media post. It could be sending someone to our website. The ambassador level is a little bit more. The ambassador level is when you're talking to someone saying, hey, man, there's this great thing that I'm a part of. It's called You Define Wellness. I think it'd be something that would be absolutely fantastic for your company. I would love to schedule a get acquainted meeting with someone from You Define Wellness. And hey, guess what? I've got access to their calendar. Can we schedule it right now? And I even promise to be there at least for the first 15 minutes just to make sure that you're comfortable with them. The link to my calendar is on the homepage of our website. I'm going to be sharing with you the link to Michelle's calendar as well. You can schedule with either one of us. That is the ambassador level. It's taking it one step further. The friend level will have a very low close rate. It's just the nature of the beast. After having been doing this for 5 years, I'm telling you from experience, we love those introductions. Some of them will actually come back around months, if not years down the road. So we, my sales coach would call it a super, super, super slow cooker. Okay. As opposed to an insta yes. But it's very, very slow process. And the reason is if you're just handing them off in an email introduction, the sense of urgency goes away. And they may not respond. There's one I'm working with right now with Stephanie. Fantastic introduction. She's actually really excited for us to talk, but we keep doing this. We keep missing each other. So being able to say, I have access to their calendars. Why don't we set something up and I promise I'll be there for the first 10 minutes. What works for you? Then you don't have to go back and forth and back and forth. It'll just show up on my calendar. Every single week, there's something on my calendar I do not recognize. Many appointments I do not recognize, and I have to go into the notes and the comments to figure out what it's going on. But you know what? I've been doing it long enough. I can do that. Ambassador level is not just sharing a social media post, but creating one or adding your own commentary. I love it when our posts are shared on social media. First of all, it bumps it up in all the algorithms. And Facebook loves it, as does every other social media platform. But when you add your own comments to it, it has more of a personal touch to it rather than, hey, take a look at this, it's kind of interesting. Hey, take a look at this, it's kind of interesting. I know here's what they're doing and blah, 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 You can on a friend level, you can send them to our website. On the ambassador level, you can actually walk them through our website. I had so much fun from someone who has not yet joined our network, but she had talked to a provider who they were having a conversation. Unifying Wellness came up. This person got so excited. She went over to my website. She immediately sent us an inquiry through the website. Simultaneously, she picked the phone and decided she wanted to talk to me. And so she got through to me immediately, which was great. I happened to have a cancellation and I was able to answer the call right then and there. And just so excited about everything. That's taking it a little bit to the higher level as well. You can host private events. We can put together a health fair if you want for the people you know. If you want to do something for your local chamber of commerce and put together a health fair for them, hey, it could be a source of revenue for them as well. We can talk about that. We got the people who will show up. It'll be a virtual health fair, but I've got the people who will show up. When I send something out to our network and say, here's an opportunity for business exposure, we're going to do a health fair, here's the parameters, I can pretty much guarantee that almost every single slot will be filled in 30 minutes of sending out that email. Because it's happened over and over and over again. A personal invitation to Unifying Wellness events. So a personal invitation is not you go to an event, you click invite and click all the different people that you want to send it to. Hey, that's nice. It doesn't work as well as sending a direct message, let's say on Facebook to someone. And I got to tell you, I do this all the time. I'll write a message. I'll do it on Word, and then I cut and paste it into Facebook and just write their name at the top so it's customized, but it's the same thing. It doesn't take me a whole lot of time. But I can sit and send out about 50 of those in an hour. And it looks like it's a personal invite. And the response rate I get is much higher than if I just click their names to send an invite to. They will contact me and say, oh, I've been thinking about you. We need to reconnect. Or I can't make it this time. Then I can go back to them because almost everything we do is recurring and say, oh, hey, it's also happening on this day. Can I put you down for that day? Okay. So that helps in generating activity going on. And the close rate is much, much higher. When you get involved, it's much, much, much higher. And it isn't the whole point of being in the referral partner program to get revenue coming through. Okay, so everybody wants scripts. I'm going to tell you, I hate scripts. I want it to be authentically you, but I understand that you may need some words to guide you. So we have some scripts, and all of this, just so you know, is in the PDF packet that I will be sending out after this call to everyone who had registered for it. So if you are a health professional, Here's a way that you can do it. And it's just to, when you're meeting with a client, perhaps you can say, hey, can I ask you a question? Does your company offer any wellness benefits for services like what I offer? Have you heard anything about You Define Wellness? You know, they've created an employee benefit program that, you know, kind of pays for the care that I offer. It's pretty cool. Would you be open to introducing us to the person at your company who's in charge of employee benefits? Some people don't want to do it. They'll give you a name, but they don't want to make an introduction. Those are really hard to close because it's just a cold call for them. If I can't use their name or if there's no introduction, it's just basically, it's a cold call. It's good to have the information, but it's a cold call. In an email or conversation, you know, these are just some of the things that I've seen go through and I've adapted. You know, there's the old sales tactic of, is this better for you or is this? And, you know, just say, hey, I hope you don't mind me reaching out like this, but I'm really excited about a new program for companies launched by You Define Wellness. This is a long sentence, to offer employees benefits on healthy living services not covered by medical insurance. I think it's something you might like, and I'd like to set up a call to introduce you to someone from You Define Wellness. You know, this would be an exploratory call, not a sales pitch. I'm open Tuesday at 3 or Wednesday at 10. Do either of these work for you? Okay. I personally don't like those because they sound salesy. Another way is just to say, and this is what I actually prefer, is just say, hey, they've got an event coming up. I'd love to have you join me there. It's this day, this time. Here's the link as to where you can find out more information. I'm planning on going. Can I put in an RSVP for you too? Anytime there's an RSVP link, like for this one where it says pre-register, you can pre-register other people all day long just by putting their name and email address in. I do that all the time when I'm doing private messages on Facebook, and I'll say, hey, can I put you down for it? Can I put an RSVP in for you? And they're like, oh yes, would you please? Great, I just need your email address. And then I go over to the link and I put them in. And that way they are going to get the notifications. Okay, last thing on this, becoming an ambassador. There is a memorandum of understanding. It'll be in the packet that I send out to everyone. The memorandum is really simple. It just basically says, you do this, we do that. There's a couple things I want to cover. For the first year, we're going to review it every 3 months. And the reason is, I've had people on sales contracts for years that have not, they never did anything. And yet and that's a whole nother level that we have available is a sales contract, be a part of our sales team. It's the highest commissions that we have. And I have people who we are committed to paying them those commission levels, but nothing's happened. Okay, if nothing happened, you're not doing any work, but then we get a fluke down the road, and yet we're doing a lot of the work and they're on that contract. So for the first year, we really want to review this every 3 months. Are you on the right place? Because if you're on the memorandum of understanding, I'm going to be asking you to to come up with a strategy with me, have a strategy meeting. Let's talk about what you're wanting to do. And I've already had a strategy meeting with some of you on this call. And I told you, don't sign it yet. We can always, before commissions are dispersed, we can always put you on the ambassador contract, and I will. But let's not start the clock until you're ready to start it. Because when you say you're ready to start it, it tells me, and you sign it, it tells me you're ready to, let's get things going. And I'm going to be wanting to work with you on it. So if you're not ready yet, you don't sign it. As soon as you are, let's sign it, and let's get a 3-month plan in place to see how we can boost up your income really quickly. And here are the links for the strategy calls with myself or with Michelle. And, you know, the strategy calls, we're just going to talk about, what do you have in mind? Are you wanting to do an email blitz? Are you wanting to do a special event? Are you wanting to have maybe partner with me where you're being able to do your talk to help lead people in, and you just want to have me there because you're wanting to, you know, give your potential clients something else that they can hear about as well. And so we come up with a strategy and a branding for it, and we market it together. You know, those are the things that we're going to cover in a strategy call. It's just, how do you want to do this? Okay, so Fast start. You want to hit the ground running? I got the opportunity for you right now. A week from today, at this time, we are launching Pathways. This is the most unique employee benefit program I've ever seen. It is the best I've ever created, and I have created a lot. I am excited about it, but we've got to get the word out. So the Fast Start Challenge right now is invite corporate decision makers to the February 2nd event launch of Pathways. And if you sit there going, hey, I don't know anybody who I can refer, if you know other health and wellness professionals, get them there too, because we want to get them excited as the type of program they want their clients to be on. And we can, you can help recruit them that way by getting them to this event. You can go to the Untitled Wellness Facebook page and you will find all the event details on the event tabs. That's where you can share from. It's the easiest place to do it. And I already told you can pre-register for others. This is an exciting new program. Let me give you the mile-high view of what it's going to cover. And I'm going to have to talk fast because I have another call in 10 minutes. And actually, Natalie, the other call in 10 minutes is with you. If you want to send them a note and say, give me 5 extra minutes, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. So the mile-high view is this. What is different about this than anything else? And that is this individual well-being assessment that we have come up with that covers the 8 dimensions of wellness. We ask the people, what's going on in your world? And then they meet with a wellness pathfinder for a one-on-one coaching call. They're going to meet with that pathfinder every single quarter. That's been the missing ingredient. What happens is people have gotten on our employee benefit program. They're excited about the idea, but then they don't know where to get started and they kind of freeze up. Some of them, hey, they're off to the races and everything's good, but we've got a good percentage that, we've had to work extra hard with because they just didn't know where to get started. They like the concept, they don't know what to do. The Wellness Pathfinder is going to help resolve that. It's going to help them have someone they can talk to say, here's what I see that's going on in your world. Is this a priority for you? Let me introduce you to so-and-so who can help you with that. And then help meet with them every quarter to keep them on track. It's going to give them 1 session a month to meet with any of the providers in our network that they want. It's going to give the employer group a 1 group wellness education class every single month to help them find their pathways and to help reinforce what the employer wants to do with their objectives for corporate wellness. It's phenomenal. It's only $146 per employee per month. It's phenomenal. It's also going to give them a health fair. It's going to do all kinds of other things for them. It's phenomenal. But we got to get people there. Another fast start is invite health and wellness professionals to our Let's Get Acquainted. You will find this information on the Untitled Wellness Facebook page. You will find it also on the next group that I'm going to tell you about. And we actually have one coming up this Thursday at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And it's an informal, it's a cup of coffee, sit around, we talk about Untitled Wellness, we answer questions. It's a really informal way to learn about who we are and what we do. And literally it's just, hey, I think you need to go meet with these people. This prevents you from having to schedule them on the calendar. It prevents you from actually having to be there if you don't want to. If you can help get them there and say, why don't you just go and listen to what the founder has to say? Bring your questions. But we do have a Facebook page called Healthy Living Practitioners. It's also known as Foundations for Success. This is where we deliver tools for running their independent practice. And we have stuff going on every single week. This week we have the Let's Get Acquainted, but we also on Thursday at noon, we have the Business Boost Power Start. Imagine being able to come in, get a business assessment done in the first 10 to 15 minutes, go over and take a test, and then spend the remaining 45 minutes with the people who created the assessment to help get an analysis, figure out where you need to go next. And that's actually my next phone call in a few minutes, just in preparation for this Thursday. But this is a phenomenal benefit. We do it for free. So if somebody's in business for themselves, I'd say, hey, you ought to go take advantage of this, a free business assessment, holy cow, and meet with the actual people who are doing it. Okay, so our email addresses are on there real quick. If you, and we can also put them in the chat box if you need it, but I think almost everybody knows how to reach us. What questions do you have that we need to, that we want to answer? Did I cover everything that well?
I'll just unmute because it's easier than
Okay.
Typing. So on the ambassador, on the checklist for, you know, the bullet points for things to do for ambassador, it's one or all. It's not all of them at one time, right? So creating a social media post, setting up appointment, attend walkthrough or an event. It's doing one of those things.
Whatever you want. Yeah, I'm just giving you ideas.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. You know, doing everything, no. I mean, for crying out loud, you're all independent contractors. You have your own businesses that you're running. This is just helping get us to the next level and providing you with a source of revenue that, you know, there's another reason that I didn't even put in here that you would want to make recommendations, particularly to employers, particularly if you know a corporate decision maker, is just to say, I know you value what it is I do. Don't you think some of your employees might as well? You want you to find, it's not taking anything away from you by getting an employer to say yes to you to find wellness. It's taking nothing away from you. It's giving you additional revenue and the opportunity to get more clients. You also have the opportunity to bring in your wellness education talks so that you get more business exposure with all of them. So, you know, from my side, it's a win-win-win. And it's not threatening. It's not, I'm not asking anyone to do this on a full-time basis. In fact, I don't want you to, because that's why we have independent contractor agreements. And it's really important on an independent contractor agreement to show that you have sources of revenue elsewhere. Okay. The IRS doesn't really like it. They think that if you don't, then we are your employer. So it's just a way to help build it up more. We will be doing, we're fine tuning all of this. We will have things that, special things that we can invite you to in terms of sales contests, ways to collaborate with each other. We're still fine tuning a lot of what that's going to look like because I don't really know yet. And so I'm going to be open to suggestions. You're helping us shape what the referral partner program is from this point out more than anything else. And that's exciting, at least it is for me. Natalie, you have a question?
Yeah, just a general question, because I love how you're saying, you know, you want to review like every 3 months just to see if the strategies are still in place or if maybe something changed in our lives. Are there any targets that you're hoping to achieve in 3 months? Because I know that you know it takes time to build a relationship. So
I can't. On an independent contractor arrangement, I can, by definition, you know, I guess I could say we want you to have 3 accounts or something like that. But it's crossing a line with the independent contractor arrangement. The IRS pretty much specifically says, here's, you are already bringing people on board that are skilled and trained and knowledgeable, and you can't tell them how to go about doing their job or what the final expectation is other than, you know, what we've allowed in here.
okay, yeah.
And, you know, can that change in the future? Perhaps. Is it something that I want to monitor? No, I'd really rather it be more informal, but we are going to have 2 commission levels based upon a degree of involvement, because I don't think that someone should get paid the same amount for just doing an email introduction and then they step out of it and they're not involved anymore than someone who has actually gone to the work of getting someone to our events.
Okay.
There's a question from Julie in the chat.
Is the Pathways program addressing specific work from home organizations? It is not addressing specific work from home organizations. It fits in very well with work from home. Yeah, it integrates in very well. All right, guys. need to jump off this call. I appreciate your involvement. We'll have this recording out there available for you, and we will be sending a packet to everyone. And then we invite you to schedule a strategy call with each one of us. It's up to you. And Elizabeth, I'd love to chat more with you, but unfortunately I can't do it right now. So perhaps we can find a time to do it. Okay. All right, everyone. Have a fantastic day. Know this was fast, but I appreciate all of you for being here. Great.
Thanks.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.